we're going to kick this off. Today, we're going to be talking about enhancing nonprofits' website with AI tools. Plus, we're going to get some insights from the 2025 AI Benchmark Report. My name is Aretha. I'm going to let you know how you can engage today on the next slide. Everybody's on mute, so if you would please put your questions in the Q&A. If you would like to participate in some other conversations, feel free to put that in the chat. This is being recorded. You're going to get the slides, you're going to get the video replay, and probably a link to get access to that benchmark report as well. Do me a quick favor. There's going to be two questions that I would love to hear from you more on what you want to know about from Tech Network and TechSoup. Two question survey. It'll take you 2 minutes. Please fill that out. I'm going to move it out of the way and turn this over to Kyle. He's going to introduce you to his team. You guys have a great day. Bye-bye.
Great. Thanks, Aretha. And good afternoon or good morning, everyone, depending on where you're joining from. Just by way of introduction, just a few of us on this call today. We've got myself. I'm the co-founder of our company Tap Network here, a partner of TechSoup. I'm joined by Tarek Manar on our team. He is our web developer and resident AI expert. If there's any new technology that is using AI or any new AI tools, Tarek's usually the first one to know about it, learn about it, dive right in feet first, and then kind of help us vet that here at Tap. And then we're also joined by Jason, who's going to be answering some of the questions in the chat today. Just some quick background on how you can get a hold of us or who Tap is. We are the digital marketing website and AI partner for TechSoup. So, we work with TechSoup to help promote, push out a lot of the marketing, a lot of the automation, manage their HubSpot account. But we also are their partner for providing website services, digital marketing services, and AI and automation implementation for nonprofit organizations. We've been around for going on 13 years now, and our primary focus is on serving mission-driven and nonprofit organizations. Some of the services that we offer, among other things, everything from AI strategy, creative and branding, so more of a typical marketing agency, all the way down to more complex things like building custom software, creating custom automations, and running the entire marketing and technology ecosystem for organizations of all shapes and sizes. Part of the reason that we're talking about this with you all today is we just finished and just wrapped up a pretty extensive AI benchmark study where we surveyed over 1,000 nonprofit organizations. We'll go through like the sizes and things like that to really understand how nonprofits are using or thinking about or utilizing AI, and how they're looking at budgeting, spending, what kind of impact that's having on their organization. So we thought that it would be really relevant and recent to start talking through, kind of pairing what we do on the website side of things and how nonprofits are using websites, and how we can really enhance that experience with AI, some of the AI tools, different platforms, and really to get more out of your total user experience online, and after they might visit a website or engage with you over email, or however you guys are engaging your audiences today. So to that point, linked in this webinar, you might have seen it through email from TechSoup already. You can download that full report with all of the findings and some of the summaries that we provided as part of that following this webinar and through this slide. Quick agenda today. We're going to start with some of the outcomes that we found in that report, so how nonprofits are adopting AI and using it. And then we'll start to talk in real world use cases of how to implement this for not just your website, but also for your nonprofit, and probably even leaks over into your everyday life in some cases here. So through AI generated content, through AI driven search engine optimization or SEO, through using chatbots and virtual assistants and agents, and then workflow automation. And then we'll also give you highlight some must-have tools that we think are really important that you can get started for free or very limited low price. And then we will have a quick workshop showcasing one or two of those tools, and wrap that up with a quick Q&A at the end. So just to get started, so kind of the background on this AI landscape, it's important for us to kind of go through why we think AI matters for nonprofits. And this is from those findings of that case study, or that benchmark study that we conducted. As we said, over 1,000 respondents. I think we sent this out to 10,000 or so nonprofit organizations. So we got a pretty great response rate on that. And the breakdown was pretty even. We got about half, just under half were from small organizations, so under $1 million, and then the larger organizations, something over $1 million, were made up the rest of that. So a good distribution of nonprofits and what they're seeing. And the reason why we did this is because we wanted to see how quickly the nonprofits are adopting and adapting to AI. And we know that typically the nonprofit space and organizations are a little bit slower to adopt things. That they're slower to move to websites. They're slower to move to mobile optimized websites. They're slower to move to mobile applications. They're slower to move to more automated marketing, and certainly expected sort of the same thing in AI. I think we were kind of pleasantly surprised at how many people have said that they've kind of dipped their toes in or started to use it, but it is still the wild, wild west, and like the kind of the unknown for what's out there, what you can do with it. So people are still certainly exploring that. So we wanted to take this opportunity to kind of to maybe answer some questions and share the findings of that, so we can see how nonprofits are using it for things like education, for tools for everyday use, to like decrease the amount of manual work or repetitive work that they're doing, and even provide services to their constituents or to their community through multiple different AI platforms that are out there. Why this matters, certainly because it's helping transform operations, but transform the organizations. We saw a big shift where people had to go from being physical or in physical locations or servicing their physical community during COVID. They had to quickly pivot to delivering those services online or through Zoom meetings or virtually. And that was kind of a first phase for being able to start to boost efficiency and think of things different. We think AI is that certainly that next phase to help automate some of these repetitive tasks, help you better identify possible funders, possible donors, better engage with those donors, those funders, and your constituents through like more enhanced engagement. And all that can help really guide, grow your organization to help elevate fundraising, increase the effectiveness of your capital campaigns, and really just the overall reach that you have for your audience. And we think with these tools, nonprofits can really start to compete with like the bigger businesses that have more resources and traditionally more money to afford those resources, where now they can kind of compete on a level playing field, because AI doesn't care who your organization is. So just a quick Q&A or quick survey here, just by show of hands. And I know we started the conversation off with this, but how many of you, if you could just put this in the chat and say yes, or you can raise your hand on Zoom. How many of you have started exploring AI tools for your nonprofit? This doesn't need to be specific to your website. This could be in any facet of how you're working. Got a lot of yeses. Someone said, I hate it when I'm met by bots when I'm trying to get some downtime. Use ChatGPT regularly. Lots of yeses here. Some very minimal. So yeah, if you check out that the benchmark study, you'll see that kind of corresponds with what we found there. A lot of nonprofits are saying that they have started to use it, have started to learn about it, have dipped their toes in, but what we saw was that they're not really sure which way to go, and how much to adopt of this and how much to use it. Is it safe? Is it secure? Should they push it out to their whole team? How should they message around it? Should they even tell their audience that they're using AI? So hopefully over time we'll be able to answer some of those questions today and in further conversations. So I'm going to breeze through these because you guys can read these on your own too and check them out on the screen. But just what this looks like from a breakdown for nonprofits. So we see that 76% were saying they lack a formal AI strategy. So as I just said, there's yes, we're using it, but we're not really sure how or where to use it, or what things it could replace, or what the 5-year plan looks like for it. And then 30% have identified that there are financial constraints as a major barrier. So yes, we might be able to use the free version of ChatGPT, but to really use a tool or a system that can replace repetitive tasks or replace manual work might have a higher price tag with it. So that's certainly a concern, something that we might be able to address with some of the tools that we'll share today as well. But besides knowing these challenges exist, they are certainly looking at AI to help them improve, as we already talked through, like efficiency, fundraising, and operational workflows. One thing I'll mention about AI is a lot of times when people think about AI, they either think of like the ChatGPT stuff, which certainly is, used is AI. It's how it's kind of really launched on the scene really quickly, 2 years ago. But we also think of it as automation tool as well. So like, how can we use AI or automation tools to augment things that you're doing? So it might not necessarily need to be using one of those AI models or those AI tools, but it's how can we start to piece things together, different systems, different platforms, different tools you're already using, with different technologies to really help automate, kind of the everyday thing. So how can we automate the outreach to donors or fundraisers? How can we automate the outreach um, to your constituents, or maybe you're doing, hiring or something like that. So how can we use a combination of those tools, some automation, maybe some AI to decrease that time on you, so we can really launch this more like affordable, um, I'll call it organization of the future. So when we talk about how the people that answer that they are currently using AI is important, but we said, as I said, the missing thing here is how they understand it, right? So we might have, if we had 98% or 97%, I think, said that they're using it in this benchmark case study, but about 5% of them said they have no understanding of AI. So they're using it, but they have no idea what they're doing with it, how it works, any of that stuff. Um, about half are, so the other half of that whole group are saying that they've got a little bit of understanding, they've heard some of its potential use cases, but they don't really understand like the full breadth of it. They get some of the pitfalls. They probably heard, how scary it is, and how insecure it is, or how AI is taking over. And then the other half are saying that they understand quite a bit. They use it in their work and personal life. But what we found in conversations since then is that seems to be like, sort of the Dunning-Kruger effect, where people think that, they've heard it, they think they understand it, they're like, oh yeah, I'm an expert at it. And then when we start to peel the layers back, we realize that it's really not, they really don't understand, and don't have like the full scope of what it can do and how powerful it is. And then how they're using it, we'll kind of wrap up with this. Right now, about a quarter of them have not started to use it yet, so they understand it, or they've seen it, but they're not really using it. A little bit under half are using it for like, or their staff is using it and they're exploring different tools. So trying to get a grip on what they can do with it. Maybe they're using something where AI is part of an existing tool they're using currently. Maybe they're using Microsoft Copilot. Maybe they're using ChatGPT. But only 7% have really feel like they've successfully adopted it to deliver their mission in their organization. And some of the ways that they're using it are for grant writing, for content marketing, and for just general data analysis. So usually pretty basic things from the data analysis side. And then, as I mentioned, like, people are very interested in this, with only about 1% of our respondents saying that they oppose AI. So like, I'll never use this, I won't have it in my organization, and they're very against it. So that was compelling for us to hear about.
Hi, everybody. This is Tarek, and I hope you're doing really well. So I've been told to make this webinar as much as high level possible, because tons of people are really beginner when it comes to AI world. But I actually work with some advanced stuff, but it's become really hard to make the advanced stuff easier for everyone. So I'll do my best to to make everyone use AI on their daily basis. And if you have any question, please do let me know. So let's get started. So I divided this whole things into 6 part. The AI generation, I mean, we can say like content generation, then we have SEO, then we have chatbot, then we have agent, tools, and finally we'll have workshop that I'm going to share some tools with you. So first one is the content generation. And for content generation, there's tons of tool out there like ChatGPT, Claude, Grok, and tons of tool. What this tool does is actually it can generate content based on the prompt. I mean the question or the instruction you are providing. So you have to ask like, write a blog post for me, it will write. But the better question or prompt you're gonna ask or provide, the better result it can do. So I'm gonna share some prompt, I mean an example, and then also share some a tool that can do everything for you. But If you are new to get started, I'll recommend to start with ChatGPT. It can do blog post, donation page copy, homepage copy, about page copy, and everything, and it saves tons of time. You just have to have the best prompt or the correct prompt. So on the next slide, we can see like website personalization and AI generated content. I put together 4 key areas like use case and copy generation. Then we have personalization, effective strategy. So use case is like what I have talked about, like you can create high quality blog content. Then tools like ChatGPT, Claude. I'll recommend to try the Claude 3.7 Sonnet, the ones came up recently, and GPT 4.5 will be available very soon. And you're gonna love that if you have started using that. And some effective strategies like having some really good prompt, share your personal stories, share some data for context. I mean, create a brand voice. I'll talk about this later, but just to give you an idea, make it as much as personalized possible to get better content. So on the next slide, here you can see we have like an prompt, and that's actually a prompt talking about like uh, generating content. I know like most of the people are beginner here, so you'll think about how come we come up with this kind of prompt. Yeah, it's become really hard to do this, but there's actually a prompt that can generate really good content. It has SEO part included, like to write a 2500 blog post title, and it has some power keyword like you have to write it in this grade 6 readability. So this prompt actually focuses on 3 parts. First one is generating the blog content. Second part is making it SEO effective. Third one is making it humanized and readable for everyone. And we're going to talk about this later as well. So the next slide, we're going to talk about SEO. SEO is very important. So I think most of the people know what is SEO. It's like something that helps your website to rank on Google. Like if you go to Google and search with some keyword, best nonprofit in Delaware, best nonprofit in Europe, something like this. And the one came up really high. It actually they're doing the search engine optimization better. And for SEO, there's very important part is the content. So people use AI right now. Actually, people are using AI and they're crafting AI in a way so that it actually bypass Google, and it can sometimes actually generate really good content like human. So there are tools out there like SEMrush, Content Shake, Brandwell, auto blogging AI that can do automatic blogging stuff, and it can also do the keyword suggest a content topic and flag site improvement instantly. It can boost visibility on Google. So in order to use this kind of tool, you need to have some sort of knowledge. You need to have some sort of knowledge on SEO. It's very important. Or if you do it wrong way, it may flag your website. It may actually, so you need to be careful when it comes to using AI with SEO. But there's tons of tool out there that can make your job easier. So I'm gonna share you a prompt that I actually use. So that prompt is like on the next slide. So there's an example, like I create a prompt. You are Alex, a professional copywriter and SEO expert with 30 years of experience, and known for humorous, engaging, engaging content like Alex. Okay, so people are talking about I need to slow down. Okay, I'll do my best to slow down. So I hope people can understand what I'm saying. So on this kind of prompt, what I try to utilize here is like give a role, make the AI as an expert with 30 years of experience, then provide instruction with writing SEO with like 2,500 words, and give the title structure, and give them like a outline, telling AI to create an outline, follow keyword density. So everything in a prompt. I have actually really big prompt, really long prompt that focus on readability, humanization, and also the content creation. This is actually really powerful. If you're interested, I'm going to share on the workshop part, and I hope everyone's going to love that. So let's move on to the next slide.
Great, thanks, Derek. So one of the more common uses that people have said they're using it for, or looking at using this for, are for using chatbots and like virtual assistants. So you guys have probably all of you here have probably been to some website in the last 30 days or this year where you have a little chatbot that pops up and says hi, maybe even has your name in it, and says, how can I help? And you start to answer the questions, and more often than not, that's going to be AI. So that's going to be something that's trained a little bit. It might be a chatbot that we, that company has given specific prompts to say, ask them these questions like, how can I help you? I need support. I need to talk to someone. What something's broken, whatever it might be. I want to donate, whatever that first question is, and then based on that, they kind of feed you further down the path, and then get you to a point where that should be able to field a lot of those first questions from people that you're able, that now you don't need a person to do that. This AI tool might be able to do that for you, but these are getting more complex, and you can start to train these on a lot of your data, on the more frequently asked questions. You can train it on your tone of voice, and these are really powerful to be there right when someone comes to your website, for example. So it might not be during business hours, but you might be able to engage with them through a chat bot or like kind of a virtual assistant or an agent that's able to pop up and say, hey, how can we help you? What are you interested in today? And then guide them down those different paths. So some of the tools that we've seen that you can do this with, that we've seen success with like Tidio, Zapier. So combining Zapier AI and their chatbot, a tool called BotPress, chatbot.com. And then I've seen some of these in the chat where people are using tools like Zendesk already to put this chat on their site. But what's nice about these is, as I was saying, like if you're, especially for the smaller organizations that don't have someone that can be in front of the computer screen or be in front of a help desk all day, this allows you to kind of step away and let your website work for you. So it can be kind of always on. It can answer some of the Q&A, it can answer some of the frequently asked questions, and it can collect information and pull that back into a CRM or into your database. And that's really powerful for serving a community. It's also powerful for looking at donors and fundraising, so you can really engage with them in real time. Like, hey, if we know who you are, and we've cookied you, and you tell us who you are, and we've got you in our CRM, this chatbot could talk to them and say, hey, like, thanks for your donation last week, last month, last year. We've got a big fundraiser coming up. Can we count on your support? And like guide them down that sort of conversion path to answer those questions. These are also very simple to kind of get set up, and then you just build on them over time. You give them more data, more feedback. And we think this is great because, like, as I started to say, it saves a bunch of staff time. It can even replace, people's actual roles, so that people can take that time now and go out there and actually, physically or kind of hands-on service your organization or service the community. And it's also nice because it really scales easily. So, you don't need a ton of different bots to service. You don't need a ton of different people to serve these roles. Another one that's pretty cool that we think is worth mentioning is like a tool called 11 Labs, where you can really create a full conversational AI chatbot, but you can actually even have it talk for you too. So you can feed these tools to be tools like this, or like some of the ones we've covered on previous webinars, like Synthesia, where you give these bots a script, and you can almost have like your own new employee that can answer questions. So they can talk to someone, through your website, or someone can set up a call to talk to one of these AI chatbots. So they're actually engaging. They pick up the phone, they call through their web, and they say, "Hey, I would like to speak to support." And it's like, "Oh, I'm a support agent." Like, and it can answer the questions, just like a human would. And oftentimes, better with more accuracy, because it's been trained on, what to say and how to guide someone there. So definitely something worth checking out.
I also want to mention here one thing is, for everyone who is getting started, there's a tool out there called Chatbot for nonprofit. I will always recommend to check this out. It has a free version for the nonprofit. You need to apply, and you will get most of the things when it comes to AI chatbot. This is not sponsored. I'm not affiliated with this tool, but I think it ought to mention there's not lots of nonprofit who love that, to have a chatbot that worth around 200 to 500 bucks. It's like chatbot. If you search on Google chatbot.com/nonprofit or chatbot.com space nonprofit, you'll get the link. So let's talk about the agent. Yeah, the most important and demanding right now in AI world. What is AI agent? Think about, before I jump into AI agent, let me tell you one thing. Do you know what ChatGPT and other text to text or text to image tool can do? They can actually generate the content for you. They can tell you, you have to do it, you can do this and that. They can generate the content for you, but they can do the action. They can't actually perform the action. It's like they can only give you the instruction, but they can't actually take the action. So AI agent is one step forward. What it will do, it will not only give you the answer or content, but also perform that. Like, think about it in this way. We have a, can you go to the next slide? We have a agent created in make.com. The job will be, the job will create blog post and go to create a blog post and publish it on your website automatically. So there's the power of an agent. Agent is like, can you go the slide earlier? One slide. So agent is something we can say a mini worker. It's like your assistant that can perform multiple tasks or simple tasks, repetitive tasks for you to make your life easier. So it can generate blog post, copy, brand voice, everything you want. Like you can have, you can do that automated. So let me give you an idea. If you go to the next slide, I can show you some template or things you can do with N8N. So N8N and make.com are one of the easiest tool to create AI agent and automation. So like if we say we want to create an automated blogging website where the AI or agent, the first step, it's gonna do the research, brainstorm, then create a content outline. The second workflow, second chat GPT, you can say. So let's say I have 5 chat GPT. First one will do the research. Second one is gonna do the outline for blog. Third one is gonna do the one outline and create a blog post. Fourth one is gonna check everything, errors and everything, grammatical part, and also make it humanized. And fifth one is gonna publish automatically on the website with SEO optimization. So you can see you have to just click one click and the action will perform every time automatically. So that's the power of an agent, where you can have multiple brain inside of your agent, or let's say your workflow. It can be ChatGPT, Claude, anyone you want, and make an automated. Make.com is quite easier. There's tons of tools, template out there you can use, but N8N, you need to have some technical knowledge, or you can hire someone to do it. You can also hire us if you need help with to set up something. It's like one of the things I love with N8N or make.com is like it can actually do everything. We actually build multiple tools for us for agent stuff. So this is very interesting. Like it can do anything you want. It's like Zapier. Zapier also can do, but make.com has very good community, and N8N as well. So I'll recommend everyone to try this out and look into the N8N world. And there are tons of template out there. You're gonna love that, and free, of course. Yeah. So one of the thing I should talk about when it comes to ChatGPT and any other tool, most of the beginner people started not using this tool because they found it quite hard to learn. And sometimes you need to have some prompting knowledge. You can say prompt engineering skill to craft the perfect prompt. And most of the busy people don't have enough time to do that. So that's why what I try to find some tool that can actually do the heavy lifting for you. I mean, easier. So I'm going to talk about the tools, the AI arsenal that makes everyone look like a pro, from beginner, zero to hero. I'm joking. So let's go to the next slide and talk about tools. So first, I'm going to talk, the very favorite one is the Blaze AI for nonprofit. Yeah, I love that when something has nonprofit with the tool. That means they care about the nonprofit. I'm pretty sure they can help you with discount when it comes to a nonprofit. So I'm gonna share the Blaze AI on a workshop. And a couple of tools to mention is like SEOmatic and auto blogging AI. If you want to do the automated content generation, then you can do auto blogging. Simplified, it has multiple tools inside. So like it has tons of tool, like all-in-one tool. So you can try simplified originality AI or any other AI content checker tool. What it does, like if you write something with AI, it can actually detect, and this is very important. Sometimes Google penalize your website, though Google said recently that if your website has 70% score AI written, they will not penalize. But what they care about is the readability. It needs to be readable. So I think I heard about this, something like this, but I'm not sure. Then we have Galaxy AI. Galaxy AI has all the tools you all need, like a Grok AI, Llama, Claude, and DeepSeek, ChatGPT, everything inside of this tool with 15 bucks. So then we have Hicks Bypass, the one I love most. I'm pretty sure people generated content. They found out like when you go to any website or Gen AI or let's say Zero GPT, it turns out the content was generating using AI, 100% AI generated. So if you are someone who want to make your content human written, you can go to Hicks Bypass. One click, it's gonna bypass the content from AI to human. One click. Perplexity. I'll recommend you if you are doing search, like if you do Google search often, I'll recommend you to try Perplexity. It has good search engine functionality with AI feature. So I think it's time for jump into the workshop. Yeah. So Kyle, how much time do you think we have? It's 10 minutes.
Yeah, I think 10 or so, and then we can start to take some questions would be good.
Okay. So let's start my timer and let's start ticking. Okay. Let me share my screen. I think TechSoup should have some sort of like a longer webinar, 2 hours, so that everything can be explained properly, because 1 hour is not enough to explain everything. And so I'll try my best. So Blaze AI, this tool I actually love. I'm actually using for last 3 weeks, you can say, when I try to find some tool that is easier for everyone to get started. I found this tool. The good thing here is like it can actually create a brand voice using your website links. When you are started creating your account, it will ask some information, and based on that, it's gonna create uh, the brand voice. So let me share. Let me show you the brand kit. I think everyone can see my screen, right? So I created a brand voice. If I edit this, you can see what I did actually, I just put the TAP Network website link and it crafts everything and pulls out everything and creates a brand voice. So you can go there and edit. Same thing you can also do with your website, with your organization. You create an account and put your organizational link and it's gonna create a brand voice. This is very important. In order to create personalized content, not same as other one, you need to have something personalized touches, and that you can easily do with your brand voice. You can also add some source material snippet. On snippet, you can see you can also add company info, negative word, avoid list, and so tons of thing. And you can also create a new brand style. If I go to home, let's say I want to generate a content. Let's say so someone is asking about writing Google Ad copy on comments, sorry, on chat. I actually take a look on that. So I just want to let you know, if you go to Blaze AI, there's an option you can generate ad copy. It's like ChatGPT, but in Canva style. So it becomes really easy for someone who have zero technical knowledge to create content like ChatGPT. So you can do tons of things. I want to share, let's say the blog post. Let's say I want to do importance of website for non-profits. and I go to
Terry,
autofill the reset.
I think that
Uh-huh.
you're good.
Okay. So I put the folder, it automatically created everything for me, keyword and everything. If you want to edit, you can edit. And you can here you can see the brand voice. Very important. So they're gonna craft the content for you. And source material, you can add source material that can follow actually the source. Very important in order to have a humanized content, you can provide fact, source, up-to-date information. Then I generate title. It's gonna generate the title. I will recommend everyone to try out this tool and everyone gonna love that. Just to let you know, again, this is not affiliated, neither sponsored by Blaze AI. So I generate outline. It's created a title. Yeah, it's up to you if you like it or not. I actually don't like it. So I need to put some time into, so it created headers. Let's select links. This is the SEO part. I go there and it also generate image for you. You see, so I picked, let's say this one, the first one, and I click on generate post. That's not it. So it's gonna start to create the content for me with my brand voice and styling, including SEO and everything. With just one click, someone who is who have zero technical knowledge on AI, without zero prompt engineering skill, can or able to do right content. So let me show you the magic. So let's say we generated the content. We can improve the quality on the right-hand side. We can edit the tone, change the length, turn intro. Then I love this one, the plagiarism test. We click on that, it will check the plagiarism. It can also analyze the SEO. So I click on check, scan the document. It's gonna do plagiarism. It found this part is actually plagiarized, and then we can easily remove that. Then we go to channel where we're gonna post it. It's like, I actually love the tool. So then if we have everything ready and we are okay to go, then we can publish or get that content. Another thing is, this is why I like this. You see on top it's saying no WordPress account. You can actually download that plugin, install in your WordPress website, create an account, connect it, and from here, one click, it's gonna publish that blog on your website with SEO keyword, SEO optimization, and image, featured image, and everything for you. Just one click. I'm sorry for the content writer. I was not here to take your job, but yeah, I have nothing to do here to help the people in non-profit industry. So another thing you can also do, cross post. So that blog post can be transformed into multiple things like Facebook, text post, LinkedIn post, and tons of things you can do with that. Isn't it pretty cool? So let me go to the home. I can also create new. Also another thing, you can connect your social media and do tons of stuff. I go to tools to show you like things you can do. You can transform your video into content, audio into content, website into content. I put the website, blog, dev network. It's gonna start creating the content from the link. And it has actually a video, I think 2 to 3 minute workaround video. And I will recommend everyone to try that out. So you can make it multiple piece. I'll go with the single piece content. Now they got the content. What do you like to create? Let's create a blog post from blog again. Let's do, let's say LinkedIn text. So I have to put that. I have to select an image. So no, this one, and it's gonna generate a LinkedIn post from the link. Zero prompting, zero technical knowledge. How's that? Okay, so another tool I want to share very quick. It's called HixAI. It's an AI tool that can bypass your content, AI content into human within one click. Okay, so let me show you the prompt I was talking about. This one, we have a couple of minutes, I think. So I want to show you the prompt. The tool I'm using here, the one screenshot you see here, is actually taken using Straiko. Straiko is a tool where you can have multiple LLM, I mean large language model like ChatGPT. I'm pretty sure you heard about DeepSeek. And here's the example I did with DeepSeek R1 Nitro. So what I did, I created an account on Straiko. I actually have a lifetime plan. I taken it from AppSumo. So I go there and test with multiple prompting, and I use multiple model. Hey, actually they have multiple model you can test. So I test with this prompt here, and a lot of people I think asking about the bigger prompt. Here's the, you can say, like if you have some technical knowledge, that's a really big prompt. But let me see if I can zoom it up. You are Alex, a professional copywriter and seasoned SEO expert with 30 years of experience, something like that, and has Alex Hormozzi style, blah, blah, blah. And the first one is creating, first one is the SEO and content requirement, and it has everything you need with SEO stuff. Then we have readability. Readability is like the reading level, so make the content as much as readable. Like I use Flash level. I use planning frog score. Someone's okay, like target score, like let's say grade 5 to 6. So there's a couple of formula when it comes to make your content readable. I applied all of them so that GPT can create this. And the next step is the humanizing requirement. There's a couple of word that actually GPT use. We tell GPT not to use that by telling negative AI phrases. Avoid any negative AI phrases by paying attention. In summary, like smooth experience, daunting task. So these are the word actually GPT use. So what GPT actually does, they actually use subject, verb, object. So that it's generic style. So we have to change it and make it like I use active voice, passive voice, and we put like a negative word so that it never use a negative word. So it looks like more human, not AI. Like it, write it like first person, use personal, easy to understand metaphors, smile, and begin with real questions. So I tested this prompt. It's a very big prompt with Cloud 3 Sonnet, and here you can see the result. Really good. It create outline, then it create content. You can see, let me tell you about Martha Stable, a DC-based nonprofit fighting poverty. Here's one thing important. When you are gonna generate content, you should provide information about your organization first, your mission statement, who you are, what you do, some case studies, some testimonials, stuff like this, so they can create good content, real content. And so here you can see like the blog post is really long. So it was created using Cloud 3.7 Sonnet. And then we have DeepSeek R1 Nitro. Time is over. So just need to finish this. So DeepSeek R1 Nitro has this content. So my prompt is actually worked on every model. Also GPT 4.5. So I think it gives you an idea about like these tools. So I think that's pretty much it. I don't know if I'm able to explain everything, but I did my best. Let's jump into the Q&A.
Awesome. Thanks, Derek. I'm going to reshare my screen again.
Okay.
Just got to get everybody's faces back here. And I've seen a bunch of questions in the chat. I'll just make sure I answer this here too. Like, I know there's a lot of links here today. We are going to, you'll get this recording as well as you'll see the links in this PowerPoint presentation, which will get shared over email, usually within the next day. And I know some of these have been actually shared in the chat. So I'm going to jump in really quick to some of the solutions. So Tarek's kind of talked about a lot of the opportunity that's out there. Some of this might be overwhelming for sure, and that's sort of where we come in. That's where TAP comes in. So there's a lot of solutions that we offer, just certainly tailored to nonprofits, or tailored to your specific things, but everything from like AI enhanced websites. So making sure we're improving accessibility, optimizing everything that we talked about today, looking at SEO, looking at content, data optimization. So using AI, leveraging AI, as well as our insights and expertise to drive smarter, faster decisions and create some actionable outcomes as part of that. Using AI and automation and other tools for CRM, so constituent relationship or customer relationship management, and donor management, doing things like automating workflows, tracking engagement, and really helping grow those donor and fundraiser relationships. And then all the way down to, you know, more strategy, marketing, and fundraising automation. So building out personalized campaigns, improving and growing your outreach, and helping build that donor base using our expertise, our experience, our team, and our AI strategies. As we mentioned, you know, you'll have the access to this, so you can download this benchmark report. We also kind of like to talk through a tool that we use pretty frequently. We use on behalf of TechSoup and use with a number of nonprofits, that's available through HubSpot and through our partnership called Breeze, which is like their sort of in-house built AI tool that helps do a lot of what we talked about today. So it covers a lot of these bases. We'll do you know, a lot of what Tarek went through on like Blaze AI as well. So if you're already on HubSpot or looking at that as an option, there's certainly that tool there. We do have a special as part of today. We have an AI audit, which is like a starter package. We do like an assessment, we do a consultation with your whole team, and we come out of that with a recommendation. So it starts with like an initial assessment of your organization, looking at how you guys are using technology and thinking about using AI. We'll spend 90 minutes with you and your team, to provide like an overview of the different technologies, what you guys are using currently, what we understand that landscape looks like, and then sort of workshop that out with you. That's like sort of 4 exercises we go through in that workshop, but it's also tailored to the specific organization. And then we come back to you with a report and our recommendations on those findings and how we would see integrating AI into your organization and your communications into your operations. So it's not just through the lens of marketing, it's through sort of operation wide at your organization level. This is really ideal for, you know, mid-sized to even large organizations where you've got a lot of different stakeholders, and it's hard getting aligned on the right path forward. We help bring everybody to the table, identify, you know, what the immediate needs are, long-term needs are, and start to help quantify some of the expected outcomes of this as well. And then we also have, you know, a number of different support packages that we work with nonprofits, again, of all sizes, start at $8.99 a month. That could be, this says AI optimization, integration, and training, but this really kind of runs the gamut. We'll manage, you know, help you with your website, your marketing efforts, your outreach, your strategy, your fundraising, and certainly take the looked at through the lens of how can we use AI to help augment or implement that stuff better for you all. I did save some time to have some use cases in here, but I think I'd like to just jump right into QA because I've seen a lot in this chat. So if you guys want to put those right in the chat or in the QA, we'll start answering these. I'm going to start in the Q&A box that I have here. So the first question is from someone says, will you discuss open source AI such as GitHub? I think this came early in the conversation, so I believe Tarek covered a few of those. But if you want to elaborate a little bit on that, I can answer any questions, or try to answer some questions on that piece. I'm very into AI and have explored using an AI agent for event registration on our website. My fear is the general public is not ready for that. If you have any feedback on that, I wouldn't want someone not to attend an event because they're initially scared off by an AI agent. So this is certainly like audience specific, also messaging specific, and how you handle that. I think, you know, personally, I think, you know, AI has been around a lot longer than we all realize. I think if anybody has a cell phone, you know, in their pocket, it's had AI on it for a lot longer than ChatGPT. You know, you've got Siri, you know, you might talk to Alexa. You know, if I say Alexa now, it's going to chime on my TV in my living room. AI has been all around us, so people are a little bit more, you know, I think they're used to engaging and interacting with it, as long as they know that's what's happening. So, you know, I think, you know, if you have somebody on your website that you're trying to drive people to events and have an AI chatbot on there that asks them, that is answering questions for them, they should see that as like a value add, or you know, you guys taking that initiative, and you're not looking at replacing humans with AI. You're looking at augmenting information, or augmenting those humans, you know, with AI, so that thing can answer more questions for you, and that person can get more out of their event. So I wouldn't think they might be scared off by that, as long as you're not trying to pretend it's something that it's not. If SEO is SEO still relevant in the context of AI? People seem to be shifting away from Google search and asking recommendations from ChatGPT and similar. What is the recommendation in getting visibility for websites? That's a great question. It's certainly people are using ChatGPT, but ChatGPT is still, if you take the SEO best practices into play, ChatGPT would still take precedent, and give precedent to things that are optimized for search. So like the idea of search optimization is just to make sure that you are providing the best result for someone. So traditionally Google would say, okay, this website seems to have a lot of information about this topic, and other websites are linking to this website about this topic. And there's a number of people that are sharing reviews that are saying this website is relevant to this topic, or is the expert on this topic. So Google, you know, you just kind of build your trust in Google by having it up there over time, having more of that content out there, having more content about that content, and having other places that are reputable linking to your website. So SEO has worked that way. That's just the core, the basics of it. And that's how these large language models also learn and build their database too. So it might not be Google answering that result for you, but ChatGPT would ultimately, you know, if you're optimizing your site correctly, show that result as well.
I want to add one thing here on the SEO part. SEO is relevant. Google recently said, I think they talk about like, as long as your content is human readable, it has really good readability score, Google will rank your article. So it's very important. From, I think it's been almost 3 years AI came up. So people are really smart. They actually easily bypass all of these tools, even Google tracking algorithm. So now Google is fed up, I think. And they said, like, as long as your content is readable, I will, they have actually certain criteria. But people are actually using, just to let you know, people are actually using AI, and they are ranking on Google.
How can we design and implement an autonomous AI system that leverages DeepSeek's efficiency and localized data centers to optimize office operations, including website management? And while this model is being applied worldwide, are there any US-based case studies or examples demonstrating its successful application? The person asked that. I think that's probably a little bit more advanced than is expected, I guess, for this webinar audience, but I'm happy to answer that question and give examples offline if you want to reach out to us. Would AI help us develop wireframes to make navigation on our site more efficient? Yes, there are multiple AI tools. Tarek probably has some off the top of his head that can analyze your website and help develop wireframe based on, you know, sort of best practices. But I will give you, I'll say, you know, take this, I will say, take this stuff with a grain of salt. You still do want to think of, you know, if you know your audience and you know your organization best, and you don't give it enough information on who's looking at your site, it's going to take best practices into mind, and it's not going to take your audience into mind. So, you know, it's a great starting point, but I think, you know, it's still going to need some human interaction.
I want to add here one thing. There are tons of tools out there that can create wireframe, even design, and even create website with one click. But what you have to do actually, for easy to understand, you took a screenshot or give the link to ChatGPT, telling it, ChatGPT act like an web designer, or act like an QA expert with 30 years of experience. Can you analyze this navigation? Tell me what are the things we have to do? What are the things we need to do? It will give you really good information. That's it.
How to learn to prepare the data for best way to train these models? It's great. It's a great question. There's a number of tools and resources out there, and again, we'd be happy to help you know, kind of guide you in the right direction on that. It's different for each tool, each model, and each data set, and then also just making sure that you're keeping security is in mind when you are feeding data to these different tools and making sure that like it's not being shared back into the model, it's not being shared with other users. So, you know, oftentimes that means that you need a paid account or a way to obfuscate the data so it's not, you know, giving personal information or whatever that's in there. What's the difference between an AI chat and an AI agent? That's a great question. So an AI chat, I mean, the chat bots are, you know, the AI chat is what you talk to, what you engage with, what you interface with. So like Chat GPT is AI chat. And then the flip side of that could be a Chat GPT chat bot. So it's just doing the same thing that Chat GPT does, but trained on your data. The agent is something that you actually train to do something. So whether that's like mining through data for you, setting up repeating tasks. In one of the slides, Tarek had demonstrated one that would post blog posts and do things like that for you. So building an agent. So an agent is more of like a series of tasks that something performs. And then does that like on a repeating basis. So like, for example, you could create an agent that looks at your donor list every day and pulls out the top 5 donors and reaches out to them with a more customized request or something like that. But so that would be what you use the agent for. You would use the chat to ask the chat, like, how would you engage with a donor, and you give the chat information. You say it's going to have this much info, this is what we're going to give you. This is like some information about our average donor. Here's our average donation size. Here's our organization, and the chat can spit back out information on like what that email might look like, and then you would feed that into your agent. Someone said some of the prompts are massive. Can you provide them in a copyable form so we can adapt them, please? I think one of those is provided in this, and then we have a list on our that Jason can share in the chat on our site of like 80 or so different AI prompts that Tarek actually created.
I'll share the prompt here. But do you know, like, this is really advanced prompt,
Right.
and yeah, I'm happy to share this. Let me grab that prompt. I'll share the chat. Which one? The massive one? The bigger one?
Yeah, I think that's the.
Okay.
What AI tools are best to create a website? Someone's question. I'll let Tarek take that. He's the tool master here.
Yeah, I need 1 minute to pass that prompt. Okay. So what are the question actually?
What are the best AI tools to create a website?
So there's tons of tool out there. It depends on your needs. One is Dora. If you need something to create a really beautiful website like Apple, 10web.io. But all of this actually use like a templated style. It's not create something really new. It's actually use a template, just fill out the content using AI like ChatGPT or like any other LLM in the backend, and just do this way. So I'll recommend if you go with Dora, 10web.io.
Thank you. Someone said this is very advanced for me. Is there a one-on-one type class to learn how to write prompts and even use ChatGPT? There's not I mean, there's plenty. There's certainly, you know, other resources out there. I know there's some even through TechSoup. We could try to look through some of those or check out like the digital skills catalog on TechSoup's website where it would have some of that information, some of that like AI 101, and that prompt book that I mentioned that we've posted before that Zach shared in the chat is a good starting point as well.
I don't know why, but my prompt, I think it's because really messy, but I can't actually pass this on chat.
How concerned should nonprofits be around security when using the AI tools featured in your presentation? I'm concerned particularly around the security of proprietary material, like unauthorized use of logos that would be uploaded. So that's certainly a concern, and every tool is different and is going to have different like privacy policies, levels of security. So it's certainly important to understand that and read through that and make sure that, you know, even though they might be secure for their enterprise clients or for the paid clients, sometimes they'll offer this access to their system or limited access to their system for free. So just being sure, you know, you're careful and cognizant of that. I wouldn't be overly concerned with things like the unauthorized use of logos and things like that. If it's publicly available through a website, it's going to be publicly available through, search, publicly available through ChatGPT. But stuff like proprietary information, people's information, contact information, I would keep out of a lot of these, a lot of the tools, unless you know it's not storing that. And one of the ways is just to check, do they submit this back to their do they put this back in their model, or do they use it to train their model, and making sure that you're checking that before before uploading that. And as I said, also finding a way to obfuscate that. So one of the ways that we do that typically is we'll put like we'll swap out an email address, for example, for a unique identifier, and we'll keep the email address and the unique identifier on a completely separate platform, and then run it through like an AI tool. Even we still wouldn't do it in one that's open, but just for security purposes, and then export the results from that tool, and then import that back into our other system and have that kind of match that back up. So if you think of like using Excel, using like a tool like a VLOOKUP to do that. We are actually at time, and I think there's one following this, so I'm going to wrap this up pretty quickly. You guys will receive you'll receive the recording or receive a copy of this presentation, as well as contact information for us. So you can reach out to us at info@tapnetwork.com with any additional questions. I really thank you all for the time today and the very thorough questions and engagement. Take care.